back then at the time was like, I mean, still now it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna go to the SEC and play ball. And UNC didn't even actually offer me, like UNC growing up as a North Carolina kid, you wanted to play, for UNC.
Yep.
They didn't even offer me till, my senior year after the state championship game, after they saw me play.
Slap in the face.
Yeah, slap in the face. They did a whole lot of bad recruiting and things that kind of just didn't sit with me and some of the other players there. So South Carolina was a clear-cut decision.
I'll tell you what, that's reminiscent of what Mike Davis was saying with Georgia. Like, they didn't offer him until kind of like the last.
Well, I feel like North Carolina and Georgia, they were both good programs at the time, so they kind of felt like entitled, like, hey, all we got to do, we can sit here and wait and play the waiting game. All we got to do is throw it at them.
Right.
But, like, compared to last week, we had Lenoris on.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of knew that we could have had Lenoris when we offered him and ended up doing that. So I'm glad that they dragged their feet with you. Because I'm glad you were in the Guardian flag.
Yeah, I made the right decision for sure.
You did a lot of awesome stuff here. All right, so going into, like, your childhood, your grandpa and your dad were both Navy? It's like
Marine Corps.
The Marine Corps? Okay, so they were Marines. Like, military kid.
Man, do not confuse the two.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I took that amphibious warfare class. Just a quick little story while I'm thinking about it. So I graduated. I took an amphibious warfare class here in South Carolina with a class full of Marines. They're in their entire, outfits.
Yeah.
I'm dressed in like this, and we played Navy that year. And Colonel Reisner actually was texting him the other day, and he's like, "All right, class dismissed. Everybody stands up, does the whole thing." And I kind of like, just kind of slouching or whatever. And he goes, "As you know, we have a civilian in the class," and I'm the only civilian, clearly. He just so happens to be the quarterback for the team, and they're playing against these, not going to say it, they're playing against Navy.
Yeah. And
I was like, whoa. And these guys are, hoorah! Yeah. I was like, whoa, guys, I thought we were on the same team.
Will you guys come block for me this week?
he goes, we just call them when we need a ride. I mean, the Marines are a different breed of people. Yeah. So that's my little quick story. But yeah, don't confuse that.
As a military kid, how did that shape you? Kind of discipline, time structure?
Yeah, I think it was huge. A lot of credit to my dad. He did the military, so he was stationed in Cherry Point, Havelock, North Carolina. Just from a young kid, it was always, in the military, they're big on mannerisms. Respect will take you a long way. So I remember just growing up as a kid, it was, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, please. Little things like that that'll carry you a long way that people really kind of, forget that. So growing up, it was straight discipline, finish what you start. Just the kind of, the basic life things that you should, have.
Well, that's the mindset that's going to carry you forward for forever. I mean, that was the big thing with Coach Spurrier when, I want to say within the first week, he was like, we're going to respect everybody that work, like janitors, equipment managers, video people, we're going to respect everybody. They're a part of this team, and we're going to treat everybody as equals. Yeah. So,
and it's a lost art now, man. Dealing with these quarterbacks in Tampa and just dealing with other people, nobody says yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It's always like, yeah, sure.
I know, my kids, it drives me nuts.
It's a
What'd you say? Yes, sir, yes,
sir. Yeah.
A quick little ass whipping.
Yeah. So
all right, so you got here your freshman year. I don't know whose dumbass idea it was to put you at DB to start, but you came in as a DB. And then during fall camp, they moved you a receiver, and they're like, shit, we got something here.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to Perry about it this morning, and I was like, do you have any stories about Pharoh? Just something on him. He's like, yeah, he was recruited as a defensive back, and all of a sudden he's, making picks and toe tapping and doing all this other stuff. And he's like, Coach Spurrier had a major hard on, and it was like, that guy's coming on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. 2 weeks in. Yeah.
2 weeks. He said it happened quick.
Yeah, it happened pretty quick. I honestly wanted to play defensive back, and the thing is, they put me at cornerback. And in high school, I played safety. I was like a ball hawk in safety. I was trying to I played baseball at upbringing, so I'm really good at tracking the ball.
Yeah.
That's why I'm pretty good.
Pretty evident.
Yeah. So I was, my whole thing was be back there tracking the ball, being a free safety, and they had me at corner, which wasn't really my thing. I'm not a cornerback. So I, made a couple plays, but not enough to where I'm like, let's keep him there. So Spurrier was like, let's go to receiver.
Yeah. We want him on offense.
Yeah, he saw me catch a punch and played in the Shrine Bowl on offense and all that. So he saw what I could do as an offensive player too. So yeah, he made the right decision though for sure.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, it came out good.
I'd say. Go ahead.
I mean, you came in as ace left, and you came in and you took over the returner duties right away.
Yeah.
Did you know much about it? I mean, Ace was on a couple weeks ago. Did you know much about Ace? Did you track his career? Like, would you, knowing that he left, you were going to come in and be the guy right away? Like, tell us about what you took from Ace.
I didn't really. I started watching my junior after I committed, but I remember Ace. Kind of a big reason I committed to South Carolina. I came up maybe my junior year or sophomore year, and y'all played Georgia.
No.
And you had
And Ace Sanders had that punt return touchdown to South Carolina.
I think he would love to hear that story.
I mean, I was back. I mean, I was on the sideline when that happened. I was in Kansas City at the time. That was our bye week. I came back. That was, I mean, it was really cool when we beat Alabama, but we kind of kicked Alabama's ass the whole time. But that one play, finishing right at the student section, like, I remember sitting there and I'm like, man, can I come back and play like one more quarter?
Yeah.
I mean, people still say that's the loudest they've ever heard the stadium. I mean, I could only imagine.
Yeah, it was crazy because he muffed it. He muffed
Yeah.
Picked it up, like, time to go.
Yeah, that crowd went crazy. I remember watching it as like either sophomore and junior in high school. You know, back then that means like everything to you. Getting recruited.
Oh, yeah, you get something like that.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was like, yeah, South Carolina's probably. Right.
Did you want to play DB or receiver in college here?
I wanted to play safety.
Yeah,
I wanted to play safety. Yeah, I wanted to play.
I mean, obviously it worked out.
Yeah, it did work out. I think I mean,
so
it's hard to say now, but I think I could have had a pretty good career as a safety as well.
I mean, as a ball hawk,
Yeah, just knowing me as a safety, I think I could have, like, tracking the ball. Like, it's so many plays I see nowadays.
Earl Thomas type, just sitting back there.
Yeah, like these safeties have no ball skills and just like angles and pursuing the ball, and you know.
That's why they play defense.
Yeah, that's true.
And the catching wasn't a problem, so
Right.
I think I could have excelled as well. But you know.
So were you upset, pissed off, you know, disinterested when Spurrier brought you on offense?
No, I was excited.
Okay.
Because I was gonna play.
Right.
It was like, go ask the defensive coaches, they think you're gonna redshirt or play. And it was Grady Brown at the time and Coach Whammy, Lorenzo Ward.
Yeah, Whammy. Crazy ass.
It was like probably redshirt you. And I came back to Spurrier after that team meeting. He said, okay, go to the offensive room. And probably like a week later, played UNC Chapel Hill. He threw me on a go route. I didn't catch it or anything, but he just wanted me to play some offense. And the next week, had some Wildcat packages in.
Yep.
Just kept expanding on that role and went from there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, at this point, I don't think, is there an all-purpose back position in all SEC, all-American anymore? I mean, you were all-SEC receiver and all-SEC all-purpose back 2 of your 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's really a thing. But going in your freshman year, you threw a touchdown, you ran for a touchdown, and you caught a touchdown as a freshman.
Did I?
That's what the history book said. We're not going to argue that.
Yeah.
But there's I don't know if, like, from a historian standpoint, if there's anybody that's ever done that before. Like, talk about your versatility and, they just want to get the ball in your hands. That's basically what it's saying.
Yeah.
But they were just trying to find a way. How can we incorporate Pharoh into this offense?
Yeah, that was pretty much the whole thing because at the time, the receivers core was pretty good. I know we had Demir Bird on the outside with some speed.
Yep.
Bruce was there, 13.
So Bruce was the starting slot receiver. So I wasn't going to start my freshman year. That's how Wildcat came about. I couldn't remember who was the third receiver on the outside. It was Bird.
Was Nick Jones?
Was it
gone?
Nick Jones?
Yeah,
Nick Jones.
Nick Jones was a
He was an
dog.
outside receiver?
Yeah, he was outside.
Quiet career.
Yeah,
That's
he was
wild.
a dog. Nick was a dog.
Nick was, yeah.
Those are the 3 guys, and Shaq. I believe Shaq might have been there as well.
Shaq Rowland.
Shaq Rowland was there too with Connor that freshman year. So I was, had to find my way with Wildcat, and that's kind of how it came out to be. I started throwing passes to Bruce, started throwing passes to Connor, and I did throw the touchdown pass against Clemson.
It was?
That's right, yeah.
To seal the game, to win the game.
Was that
yeah,
B. Wilds, right?
Brandon
Yeah.
To be wild, Brandon Wiles, yeah.
What the hell's he doing?
Not sure.
I don't know where he's living at. He was with me in Atlanta in 2014, 2015. He played for 3 or 4 years.
We gotta figure out a way to reach out to him.
Yeah, I think he might be here. And I know he's from here.
Okay. He's local. Oh yeah, he's Blythewood.
Blythewood guy, yeah, somewhere up the street. Yeah.
All right, so going into the next year, Connor had a hell of a run. Connor never lost a game in Williams-Brice Stadium. Was he 21-4 was his overall career record, whatever it was. So you lose Connor, Clowney, Bruce, and Kelsey Quarles.
Yeah.
All leave. I mean, those are like probably the top dogs in the locker room.
Yeah.
Tell us about, if you can remember, the off season of 2014 and how you guys, I mean, I know Dylan was there for 1 year afterwards, but tell us about like revamping after all those guys leaving. I mean, that was a huge hit.
Yeah, that is.
You guys went and had I mean, that was your 1,100-yard season.
Yeah.
If you remember anything about that off season, that like who stepped up, who kind of took over.
I'm trying to remember.
I mean, Mike Davis had a big year.
Yeah, it was Mike. Mike was our running back. Honestly, probably, I think Dylan had a big say in that and kind of stepped up, vocally and as a leader. At that time I was still young, and Mike was, he had a big year year before.
Sky was there.
Yeah,
Sky played as a
Sky.
freshman a bunch too.